I'm Kirsty Watson and welcome to my final storytelling video, because I'm going to be starting by reading a very special story. It's called Jungle Scrumble, and it's a story that was a big favourite at Telltale Tots, and it's a story that I'm actually turning into a real book, so it's going to be published later this year. So I've decided, why not, seeing as we're all stuck at home, I'd give you a little preview of this new story. Well, are we sitting comfortably? Because I think we should probably start. So who's ready for a story time? Fantastic. In a jungle far away, there lived a cleverly cunning panther. That's me. One day, Panther felt a familiar rumble in her tummy. Yes, she was hungry. So she decided to make her most favourite thing to eat. Super yummy Scrumble. Jungle Scrumble. Good morning, Scarlett. But first, she needed to catch the special and most important ingredient, a juicy jungle mouse. Squeak, squeak. But catching a jungle mouse was no easy task. So she thought long and hard before hatching a cleverly cunning plan. She wrote a letter, and it said, "Dear Jungle Mouse, you are invited to join me for dinner this evening. I do hope you can make it. It just won't be the same without you. Your friend, Panther." There, that'll work, won't it? And once she'd delivered the invitation, she sang out with excitement. Now, I wonder if you can help me learn this little rhyme. We're going to hear this little rhyme a few times through the story, and it goes like this. Jungle scrumble for my tummy. Jungle scrumble's very yummy. Munch, slurp, gobble and burp. Jungle scrumble, jungle scrumble. Do you think you can remember that for next time? Just then, oh, who's popped by? Who's this? Can we see? Monkey dropped by. Hello, Panther. What are you doing? Monkey asked curiously. I've invited Jungle Mouse over to eat. To eat together. So I'm making Jungle Scrumble, explained Panther. Ah, I see, said Monkey. Well, might I suggest adding some nice banana skins? They'll add a lovely chewy texture, and I'm sure Jungle Mouse will love some banana skins. Okay, agreed Panther, and before she could change her mind, Monkey tossed in some banana skins. There, much better, said Monkey. Then Panther sang as she stirred. Can you remember that rhyme? Jungle scrumble for my tummy. Jungle scrumble's very yummy. Munch, slurp, gobble and burp. Jungle scrumble, jungle scrumble. Just then, oh, we've got another visitor. Who could it be this time? Let's have a look. Who is it this time? You're right. Elephant stomped by. Hello, Panther. What are you making? Asked Elephant curiously. I'm having Jungle Mouse for dinner. Jungle Mouse is coming for dinner, so I'm making Jungle Scrumble, explained Panther. Oh, right, said Elephant. Well, may I suggest adding some nice fresh green leaves? Here, got some just here. It's important to eat plenty of green things. They're good for you. And Jungle Mouse loves green leaves. Well, okay, I suppose that could work, said Panther, as Elephant threw in a bunch of freshly picked leaves. Then Panther sang happily as she mixed in the leaves. Jungle scrumble for my tummy. Jungle scrumble's very yummy. Munch, slurp, gobble and burp. Jungle scrumble, jungle scrumble. Just then, Tree Frog hopped by. Hello, Panther, what have you got there? Tree Frog asked curiously. I've invited Jungle Mouse round for a bite. I mean, a bite to eat with me. So I'm making jungle scrumble, explained Panther. How lovely, said Tree Frog. How about adding some nice, crunchy bugs? They'll add a good crunch. Jungle Mouse loves crunchy things. Before Panther had time to answer, Tree Frog threw in the bugs. Oh. And Panther sang merrily as she stirred them in. Jungle scrumble for my tummy. Jungle scrumble's very yummy. Munch, slurp, gobble and burp. Jungle scrumble, jungle scrumble. Just then, Hippo sidled up. Hello, Panther. What are you doing? Hippo asked curiously. I'm going to eat Jungle Mouse. I mean, I'm going to eat with Jungle Mouse tonight. So I'm making jungle scrumble, explained Panther. Ah, lovely. Well, perhaps you could add this oozy mud. It'll add a lovely colour. And Jungle Mouse loves mud, said Hippo. And with that, Hippo plopped a dollop of gloopy mud into the pot. Now I think I have almost everything I need for my jungle scrumble, said Panther, as she chopped, mixed and seasoned the mixture, and she sang while she worked. Can you remember our little rhyme? Are you ready? Jungle scrumble for my tummy. Jungle scrumble's very yummy. Munch, slurp, gobble and burp. Ooh. Jungle scrumble, jungle scrumble. Just then, the last person to arrive, who could it be? Jungle Mouse arrived. Hello, Panther, she said. I'm ready to eat. Not quite, whispered Panther. Pardon? Nothing, grinned Panther. It's so wonderful you're here. And you're just in time, actually. Won't you come and help me stir the jungle scrumble? It's almost ready. It just needs one more. Just then, as if from nowhere, monkey, elephant, tree frog and hippo arrived. Oh, what a lovely surprise, said Panther. It smells delicious, said Elephant. Have you tried some yet, Panther? Not yet. I was waiting for Jungle Mouse to arrive, actually. You should try some, said Monkey, as he popped a big spoonful into Panther's open mouth. Panther gulped. Panther turned a funny colour. Ooh. The banana skins were chewy. The green leaves were fresh. The bugs were crunchy. The mud was gloopy. And all together, it tasted. I don't know, how do you think it tasted? It tasted. Yuck! Ugh. Panther spat and spluttered and ran as fast as he could to the watering hole. then gulped and guzzled, but couldn't wash away that terrible taste. Ugh. And the other animals laughed and sang. Jungle Scrumble's very yucky. Jungle Mouse is very lucky. Yucky, chewy, crunchy, spewy. Ugh. Jungle Scrumble, Jungle Scrumble. That's the end of my Jungle Scrumble story. Thank you to everybody who sat so beautifully and listened. What did you think? If you enjoyed that story, will you give me a thumbs up? Well, that brings me on actually to your next Let's Write a Story writing challenge. I hope listening to my stories has given you a little bit of inspiration for your own. We've had several other challenges so far. The first one was to come up with some ideas. The second one was to come up with a main character and the other characters in your story. The third was to think about the setting, so where your story is going to take place. Then we had a little think about the plot, so what was actually going to happen in your story. And then in the last video we talked about the importance of drafting and editing your story. And this brings us on to the very last thing, which is once you've got your story all ready, we are going to turn it into a real, beautiful, fantastic storybook. This is one of our favourite things to do at Telltale Tots, and I've put a little something together on my website. There is a template that you can use. Ask your grown-up to download and print it off for you. And I did show you this last time, but I'll give you another sneak peek. But it just helps you to structure your writing and your illustration. So there's some space at the bottom here for your words and a space here for your beautiful illustrations. Now you can print off as many as you need. I've got 2 here, and what you need to do is, if you can, print double-sided. If you can't, don't worry too much, because you can always use the blank side as well. And what you want to do is just fold it in half like so. And it's already starting to look a little bit more like a book now, isn't it? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides for 2 pieces of paper. So what we want to do is fold that into an A5 booklet. Then you've got a couple of options depending on what you've already got at home. Now because I do a lot of stapling, have one of these, a long-armed stapler. Do you have a long-armed stapler? If you haven't, don't worry. And what I would do is just simply staple it together like this. But you could sew it, you could use a little bit of glue, so whatever you've got. But the thing you want to do is to stick it together, because then it will look a little bit more like a book. Then, once you've got your template ready, it's time to do your bestest, neatest handwriting and write up your story into your template. And then you want to do some beautiful illustrations. Now, we haven't talked too much about illustrations because this isn't my speciality. But what you want to do with your illustrations is make sure that the picture on each page, so the illustration on each page, tells the story almost as well as the words, so that if someone had a look at your picture, they would know what was happening on that page. So there's a little tip there. So write the words, illustrate each page. If you find you need more pages as you're going along, just add some more in, that's fine. Then, once you've got all that complete, all together, what's the last thing we're missing? Has anyone noticed? What's usually on the outside of a book? We've got the inside of the book here, but what's normally on the outside? Yes, a cover. So all books have a cover, and for this you can make your own. Again, you can use a plain piece of paper, or we've got some nice coloured card. So I've opted for a nice green piece here, and again you just want to fold this in half, super easy. And then you want to take ideally some PVA glue, with a thin nozzle at the top would be perfect, but I'm sure you could improvise again with maybe sellotape or Pritt stick, whatever you've got around at the minute. And then you just want to put a very thin line of glue down the inside of your spine, and then stick the inside in very carefully. Now if you're using PVA glue, once it's together like this, you might want to put a book on top of it to keep it nice and flat, and leave it for a few hours to properly dry. And then you will have a beautiful template that is ready for your cover illustration. So again, like the illustrations inside the book, we need the book to be eye-catching, striking from the outside. So save your best illustration for the outside. So we're going to need a lovely eye-catching picture here. And what's the other thing we usually have on a front cover? Can anyone remember? The title. So we're going to need the title of the book. Now honestly, I leave the title right until the end. And quite often as I'm writing a story, the title changes several times, and I only settle on the final version right at the end, just before it gets put into print on a book. So have a think, what are you going to call your story? This is it now, this is the last time to make up your mind. Put your title here. And then on the back, we usually have a little blurb, don't we, that tells us a little bit about the story. So have a think, you don't want to give too much away, you just want to give a little teaser as to what your story might be about, and write 2 or 3 sentences on the back just to explain that. And lots of books also have illustrations on the back cover as well, so be as creative as you like. And the idea is that you make your very own storybook, something that you can keep and treasure forever, like I did with my monster footprint book. But thank you for listening. That was hopefully this is the fun one, the fun challenge, when it all comes together and it all starts to look fantastic. But thank you for everyone that's joined me for all my live videos, and I hope you've enjoyed them. Do give me a like and a share, because that really helps actually to get the word out about these videos. Otherwise I might just be sitting here talking to myself. And do keep sending me your stories, because I love to receive them, and I would love to give you a special shout out on one of these videos and even read it aloud for everyone to hear. How fantastic would that be? But that's it from me for now. Thank you for listening so beautifully, and enjoy the rest of your day, and keep in touch. Let me know how you get on. Yeah, thank you for listening, guys. Bye.